the city. It's in Long Branch on the corner of Park and Norwood. It's Elbron. It's like where I live, where I grew up.
Right, that's where you grew up.
It exploded, that shul. It's huge. Oh my gosh, it's the biggest shul in Deal.
It's far from bigger than West Deal.
Yeah, it's massive.
Farthest.
From where? From West Deal?
No, we're not in West Deal.
Where are you staying?
It's Oakhurst.
Oakhurst? Oh, 30 minutes. Maybe less, depends. Oakhurst is very small.
Oakhurst is small.
Very small. Maybe even less. Could be, if you're in the beginning, 15 minutes. Maybe.
But Caston's son is the rabbi, one of the shuls.
Caston is the rabbi in West Deal, no?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the blonde-haired guy.
Right. Oh, yeah,
he's the rabbi in West Deal, no? Or no, he's the rabbi of Hillel.
The grandson of
he's the, yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yechave daat, 6th book. Siman Yud Tet 19. Bnei Yeshiva Sefaradim שלומדים בישיבה אשכנזית ושומעים קידוש או הבדלה. Now this word I might botch up a million times. Pronunciation. Mifta. B'mifta v'habara ashkenazit. And they hear the kiddush or havdalah in the pronunciation of the Ashkenazim. These are sefaradi kids. V'chen lehefach, or opposite, Ashkenaz kids in a Sephardic school. B'nei yeshiva Ashkenazim sheshomim kiddush or havdalah b'mifta sefaradi. Heim yotziim b'zeh yedei chavatam. Are they yotzeh if they heard it in the other what's it called? Dialect, not dialect. In the other customary pronunciation. Teshuvah. גאוני הדור שלפנינו נחלקו בנידון אשכנזי שרוצה לשנות ממנהג אבותיו ולפלל במבטא ספרדי וכן להפך. The great Gaonim before us, the great rabbis have debated this topic. Can you switch and convert and pray as a Sefaradi, you want to pray Ashkenazi, or Ashkenazi to pray Sefaradi? האם מותר להם לנהוג כן? Is it allowed? Are you allowed to convert and do this? שהגאון רבי אברהם יצחק הכהן קוק בירחון כל תורה, Rabbi Cook writes, שאסור לשנות במבטא והברה שנהגו באבותיו למבטא והברה אחרת. Rav Cook says it's asur, forbidden. You can't switch. Rabbi Abraham Yitzhak Cook. That's the Rav Cook, right? He says you're not allowed to switch. You can't switch your havara. If you're Ashkenazi, you must remain Ashkenazi, and if you're Sefaradi, you must. Why? What's the isur? Where does it say in the Torah that you can't switch what you're doing? שיש בזה משום אל תיטוש תורת אמך. Right? Shema bini musar abicha ve'al titosh torat imecha. You cannot desert the Mesorah, the tradition of your fathers. Ask your father and your grandfather, and they will tell you. So, which means, if you want to be Ashkenazi, if you want to convert to an Ashkenazi, you're going to ask your grandfather. He's not going to be able to help you. Your grandfather's Sefaradi, and so you violate the pasuk. Since we don't know, says Rav Cook, which pronunciation is correct, asur l'shanot b'minhag ha'avot sheyachziku bo me'ot b'shanim. You cannot change from the custom of your family that's been for hundreds of years. V'meshane bazeh, someone who decides to change, harehu b'chalal ma sheshaninu b'berachot kerav v'lo tiktek b'oto yateh. If you switch to an Ashkenazi dialect, or if you're Sefaradi, or if you're Ashkenazi and you want to read Sefaradi, it's like you read Shema without the right pronunciation for you. Because your right pronunciation is a Sefaradi pronunciation, not the Ashkenazi, and also the opposite. So his friend, the other chief rabbi, Rabbi Meir Hai Uziel, he quotes Rav Cook, and he writes, he says, no, he says, it's not asud. Don't tell me it's asud for a Sefaradi to pray Ashkenazi or Ashkenazi to pray Sefaradi. Too much. As long as you are praying like a correct Sefaradi, you get credit for praying like a Sefaradi. If you're praying like a correct Ashkenazi, you're praying correctly for an Ashkenazi. You can't tell me you're not Yotzei Kriyat Shema because you said the word ve'ahavta instead of the way they said it. So Rabbi Uziel disagrees with Rav Cook on this. Both traditions are godly. If you do like this one, good. If you do like the other one, good.
Because the cook would say you can't pronounce ashkenazi like a sefaradi.
Yeah, yeah. And the opposite.
Wow.
Yeah. Very good. ولم يش لعيد بذا from the Sefer Derech HaNesher. It says in the Sefer Derech HaNesher, Shagaon is very famous. Hagaon Rabbi Natan Adler, Rabbi Nassan Adler. Rabbi Nassan Adler was a Gaon Olam. He was the Rebbe of the Hatam Sofer in Frankfurt, Germany. So Rabbi Nassan Adler, right, famous what he did, right? Asama Aserav. What did he do? Sheizmin Tagon Rabbi Chaim Modai mi Izmir. He personally hired this Rabbi Modai to come from Izmir, Turkey, to come to Frankfurt, Germany. El Irov El Shah Mikomo Frankfurt. And he taught him for 3 years. Teach me how to pray like a sefaradi. Rabbi Nassan Adler, the Rebbe of the Hatam Sofer, teach me how to pray like a sefaradi. He took a 3-year session. He completely deserted the Ashkenazi history that he had. He remained customs with and halachot Ashkenazi, but the pronunciation. He would even be Hazan in his city in Frankfurt, b'miftah sefaradi. All the Ashkenazim sitting there, and Rabbi Nassan Adler gets up. Who's going to tell the rabbi no? He gets up and he prays sefaradi. So Rabbi Nassan Adler is the one famous person in history. There were a few, but he's very famous that he said the sefaradi way is the correct way, and I'm going to switch for tefillah and berachot, but not for minhagim. Pronunciation. He didn't switch his minhagim, his halachot. Pronunciation, he said the sefaradi Hebrew is the correct Lashon HaKodesh. From here's a proof. שאין כל חשש איסור לאשכנזי אשר יצא לשנות במבטא אבותיו ולקרוא קריאת שמע כספרדי. We see from here that if it's good enough for Rabbi Nassan Adler, it's good enough for you. So if you're an Ashkenazi kid, you want to pray as Sfaradi, כל הכבוד. וכן העלה הגאון רבי עובדיה הדיה, in Yaskil Avdi agrees, והסכים עמו הגאון רבי יעקב זרהן, who is the Ab Beitin in Tiberia, agrees with this halacha. הגאון הרדב"ז, in the Sefer Bet Ridbaz, נשאל מהגאון רבי יוסף ידיד הלוי. Rabbi Yosef Yedid Halevi was from where? Yosef Yedid was from Halab. He made Halab, Aram Soba, he was from Syria. He was a chief rabbi. He asked the chief rabbi of Syria, which is the correct way to speak Hebrew? And Rabbi Yedid responded, Definitely, it makes more sense to say the Sefaradi way is better.
In those times, they weren't exposed to Ashkenazi.
It seems like they were. I don't know. It seems like they were because they knew how others pronounced it. From the reason, ki Ashkenazim nadedu rabot migole el gole al gola. The Ashkenazim kept moving around. They have much more exiles than the Sephardim. Rabbi Levi? I think his son is Hacham Yom Tov, who just passed away. So he must have been 200 years ago. Rabbi Nassan Adler is the Rebbe of the Hatam Sofer. Hatam Sofer is also 150 years ago, maybe? Maybe less. Not so long ago. 200 years ago, both of them. Because of all the galut, exiles from country to country, the Ashkenazim, they got mixed up in the way they speak. But look at the Sfaradim. We remained in the one spot, in the Middle East. For thousands of years, we've been in the Middle East. We didn't go so far. We remembered how to speak. So there's the answer from Rabbi Levi, Rabbi Yedid. שגם אשכנזי השומע קידוש והבדלה במבטא ספרדי בוודאי שיוצא ידי חבטו. So according to all this, if you're Ashkenazi and you hear הבדלה or קידוש ספרדי, no problem, you're kosher. שלאף לך תחילה היה לשי בעצמו לומר קידוש במבטא ספרדי. You're allowed to even change like a Rabbi Nassan Adler, you could do. ומכל שכן ששומע בספרדי את הקידוש והבדלה במבטא שהוא רגיל בו. For sure, if you're hearing from another guy, the guy you're hearing from is doing it in a kosher way. So it's called that's a kosher קידוש. It says in the name of the Hazon Ish, a shul that reads Ashkenazi, the Hazon Ish, Chazon Ish is not a light hitter. He said Ashkenaz shul is not Yotzei Torah if a sefaradi gets up and reads. Because of this rumor that they heard from the Chazon Ish, Samach Semicha Bechol Kocho, he said fully with all the strength that it's Asur. Ulam Be'emet, She'en L'smoch HaShemirot K'yoseh Be'elum. Says the Chamadia, don't rely on rumors. Chazon Ish didn't write this in his sefer. They say that he said it. You can't rely on rumors like this. We don't know if this is really true, that he said it's Asur to hear a sefaradi read it. In the Sefer Yosef Omes, the Hida writes as follows. Umi lanu gadol min Rabbeinu ha'arizal. Who's greater than the Arizal? Shaya ashkenazi mimishpachat Maharshal. The Arizal was Ashkenaz. Ubechol hashana ha'mitpalel im sefaradim. V'shomea mehem kriyat haTorah v'chulu. The Arizal himself praised sefaradi. And so Rav Nassim Adler, the Arizal, he doesn't say this here, but Racham Yitzhak Yosef, his son, in Yalkut Yosef, he says, he quotes that the Arizal says there are 12 channels to Shamayim, and the tefillot go up the 12 channels, and each tribe had their own dialect, had their own way of speaking, their own pronunciations. We know this for a fact because of the story of the Bnei Ephraim with Gilad, right? Was it Gilad? Gidon. Bnei Ephraim. This is in Navi, that there was a mahloket between the tribe of Ephraim and the other tribe. And so they put guards at the bridge and they said, say the sheen. And they said, seen. Because they couldn't say sheen. And they chopped their heads off because they were, right? It's a horrible story. But we see even from back then, the tribes pronounce words differently. And so it says the Arizal, there are 12 channels up to Shamayim. And each type of Jewish prayer goes up a specific channel. They're all accepted. A Hasidic guy's tefillah is also accepted. The Arizal says the sefaradi channel is the highest of all the channels. The Arizal writes. It's quoted in the Yalkut Yosef. And so I want to choose the highest channel. So he switched and he prays sefaradi. They do that, but I don't know. I know that a lot of rabbis did that just for Kohanim. Because the Kohanim, every mitzvah min Torah. But I don't know that's a proof they agreed in the way we pronounce it. Kohanim, yeah, because in Yerushalayim they do Kohanim. In Israel they do Kohanim. Over here there's no Kohanim. So we used to have Ashkenaz rabbis come to our yeshiva and deal all the time for Kohanim. I don't know if it would be nice to have them. Rambam says it's a mitzvah min Torah to be blessed. Rambam holds a mitzvah on me, Israel, to get a blessing. If I sleep in one day and I'll go to shul, I violated a mitzvah I said to get blessed from a kohen. It's very strong. And so they say, how can I miss kohanim? Okay. Especially for Torah, reading of Torah, like we said in the Gemara class a few times, it's not an obligation. It doesn't say in the Torah, read the Torah in shul. It's a minhag. It's a takanat nevi'im. Hearing the Torah in shul, the rabbis told us to hear Torah. And so, okay, you're hearing it sefaradi, if you're Ashkenaz, or vice versa. According to the Rosh and most poskim, hearing the Torah is not, it's only rabbinic. Okay. Even Kiddush and Havdalah, she'ikar mitzvatam min Torah, which are biblical mitzvot, daat Rabbi Yeshaya harishon b'sefer HaMachriya, שיוצאים מידי חובה מן התורה בתפילה והקידוש וההבדלה על הכוס אינה אלא מדרבנן. So therefore you have definitely what to rely upon by hearing it in the other thing. It's okay. Don't stress out. וכן בקודש חזיתי להגון ביחיאל יעקב ויינברג. I saw from Rabbi Weinberg in the Sefer שרידי אש שנשאל בדבר הנערים אשכנזים שלומדים בבית ספר דתי במבטא ספרדי. He was asked about Ashkenazi kids who are learning in religious Sephardic schools in Israel. וכשמגיעים למצוות, רוצים לקרוא בתורה במבטא ספרדי שהורגלו בו, and they all grew up reading Sefaradi. בעוד שהקהל בבית הכנסת נוהגים לקרוא במבטא אשכנזי. So now they go back to the Ashkenaz shuls and they get an aliyah, they want to read, they're going to read Sefaradi. They want Hazan, they're going to read Sefaradi. But they're in an Ashkenaz shul. Rabbi Cook and Rabbi Uziel. So the rabbi who asked this question to Rabbi Weinberg said, it's a mahloket, Rav Cook and Rabbi Uziel, which one is right? According to Rav Cook, you're not allowed to do this. Yeshiv and Rabbi Weinberg answered, "She'en b'risono le'achriya ben hageonim." I'm not going to tell you which one of these two rabbis are right. He says, however, you got to say it's allowed. It's fine, no problem. Why? The Rama, Moshe Israelis, who's Ashkenaz, he writes in the Shulchan Aruch, this we said that if a Torah reader makes a mistake, you have to correct the Torah reader, which everyone here does very well. That's only if it's a mistake that changes the word, changes the meaning. About ta'ut b'nikudot or b'ta'amei ha'mikra she'en ha'inyan mishtane b'kach en mahazina oto. If he makes a mistake on the little nikuda and the word means the same thing, you're not supposed to correct the guy. Give him a pass. So then for sure, what's he gonna say? Which words in sefaradi are gonna have a different meaning because it was said sefaradi instead of ashkenazi? Even if you hold it's a mistake, it's a kosher mistake according to the Rambam. ופוק חזים, מה עמד דבר שבקהילות רבות של האשכנזים עצמם ישנם אנשים שונים שלכל אחד יש הברה אחרת. He says it's true. He says if you look at the Ashkenaz community, every Ashkenaz shul pronounces it differently. There's a million different pronunciations for the Ashkenazim. Sefaradim is generally the same. Every Ashkenaz pronounces it differently. Kegon, Anshe Lita, Lithuanians, Anshe Galicia. What's Galicia? In Poland. The Polish Jews, every one of them is different. The Yekis, Shemishonim Zemezeh, Behabreotem, so even the Ashkenazim themselves, everyone pronounces the words differently. They let everyone be Hazan. If you're a Lithuanian in a Polish shul, they'll let you be Hazan. So what's the difference? No one opens their mouth. The one thing we have to be careful about, he doesn't say this here, but again, Hacham Yitzhak talks about this in Yilchut Yosef. For us to pray with Ashkenazim can be a problem because of the Shem Hashem. The way we pronounce Hashem's name could be a problem. We say Amonai. The Ashkenazim say Amonoi. Baruch Atah Amonoi, right?
Depending on which.
A lot of Ashkenazim, right? Not all. I don't know every Ashkenaz. And so, what is the source for this? The source is Rabbeinu Bachye. Rabbeinu Bechaya, they would say. He writes in Parashat Vayera, when Abraham Avinu is sitting after the Brit Milah, and the three angels come to him to be guests, and then he talks to Hashem, or he talks to the angels, I'm not sure, he says, Imna Adonai, what's the words? Imna Masati Himenecha, Adonai, Imna Masati Himenecha, Alna Ta'avod Ma'aladecha, Yukachna Me'at Mayim. He's talking to the angels, Rashi. He's talking to the men, Rashi said. And he called them Adonai. How could you call a man Adonai? And so Rabbeinu Bachya says, no, that Adonai is different than the Amonai we use for Hashem. You can say Adonai, it means my master, or you can say Amonai, and it means Hashem. What's the difference? Rabbeinu Bachya, he says, the Kamas is different than the Patah, so it'll be Amonoi, that's for Hashem. Adonai would be anyone for him. That's where the whole thing starts from Abraham Avinu. However, Racham Vadia completely dismantles this, and he says, no, it's not Amonoi. It's a. And he says, the real Diktukim, the people who know Lashon HaKodesh very well, Sfaradim, they make a difference between a Patach and a Kamas. It's not O, it's just one is a and one is a. It's a little bit stronger. So if you hear Ashkenaz reading, some people say you're not even hearing Hashem's name. It's not Hashem's name in the Beracha. Amonoi is not Hashem. Okay. He was probably praying quietly. He was praying out loud. First of all, but second of all, their Kriyat Torah is unbelievably fast. They're ridiculous, right? They fly. Yeah, that's why this question is really about Ashkenazim reading like Sefaradim. Because I guess in Israel it's more prevalent. They read
their accents is now
like right. In America, this question would be flipped. And Sfaradi who prays like Ashkenaz in Israel. In the rabbis of these times, בשם כמה גידולים שאין להקפיד על שינוי העברות במבטאים. Don't worry if the Hazan pronounces it a little differently. בשליח ציבור או בקורא בתורה, שמפלל וקורא במבטא שונה מנהג הציבור. It's okay if it's a little different than the congregation's custom. ולכן בוודאי שאין להקפיד על בר מצווה שקורא בבית הכנסת של אשכנזים במבטא ספרדי. If a kid gets up on his bar mitzvah to read, and he's reading in sefaradi way, and it's Ashkenaz shul, don't take the kid down. You have to have brains in your head. Leave the kid alone. Begadol hashalom. You have to have peace. These are beautiful words to those who understand. B'yisharim, the motzei daat, people with knowledge and understanding. She'en la'akpid klal ala miftahim hashonim. Don't worry so much about the pronunciations. We see in Israel all the time, Ashkenazim, they read Ashkenazi sefaradi, or they hear it Ashkenazi. Same thing. Otherwise, if you hear Ashkenazi, you're kosher. It's fine. It's also kosher. However, we have to say, Zachor and Para, Shem deoraita, according to Maran Shulchan Aruch, even para is deoraita. Some people say it's a mistake in the Shulchan Aruch, and he didn't mean to write para. But Maran Shulchan Aruch says para is deoraita. Zachor for sure is deoraita. You have to hear it in your traditional pronunciation. Sfaradim Shalomim b'yeshiva Ashkenazit. Sfaradim who are in yeshiva of Ashkenazim. Ya'asu minyan le'atzmam. They should make their own minyan. B'shabbatot elef for zachor and for para. B'shat kriyat Torah. B'lekro parasha. B'mifta sfaradi. And so therefore, it sounds one way. It kind of is one way. We believe that the Sefaradi pronunciation, it's not we believe. If anyone is honest and objective, the Sefaradi pronunciation is much more rooted in history. Avraham Avinu wasn't from Germany. Avraham Avinu was living in Halab. He was living in Iraq. He was living in Mesopotamia. We're the real Jews. It started with us. When did Europe start? After the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. When did we ever go to Poland and Russia and Lithuania? After the temple was destroyed. You're talking about thousands of years. The second temple. Thousands of years, we were all Sephardim. And we stuck around the Middle East, and so we're closer to it. So it's one way, but it's true. After Girush Sfarad, we scattered around also. But that was way after them.
But by the way, 1492.
Yeah, 1492. So we're only 500 something years kicked out of our area. And even we all come from families. My family was in Halab, I don't know, 100 years ago.
So my family was from Spain to Iraq,
to Iraq? No, not to Iraq.
From Iraq, they went to Spain.
No, where'd they go?
They were since.
Right. So we're in the right even before Bayrishon. Right. We've been around Yerushalayim, Israel, closer to Israel in proximity for thousands of years. And so it's one way. It is one way. Rav Nosson Adler realized this. The Arizal realized this. The Sefaradi pronunciation is more correct.
By the way, this discussion would also be applicable to the
Yemenites. I've had Yemenites friends. They tell me, we're even older than you. Don't even call me Sefaradi. Well, I had one Yemenite friend. Don't call me Sefaradi. I'm Timani, even older and better. Very proud of their Misorah.
But the pronunciation.
Their pronunciation a little different. Yeah, they have a taf. They have a taf.
Huh? So the God of the job.
Yeah, they could be right. They could be right. They have a taf. They have a wow. Right. The vav is a wow. Regardless, it's closer than the Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazi, I mean, they've been influenced by Germany and Poland, and it doesn't debate up. And so, therefore, if you're Sefaradi, if you're Ashkenazi and you want to praise Sefaradi, no problem. You're better than kosher. If you're Sefaradi and you want to pray Ashkenazi, okay, what's the worst that happens? A couple of words are changed. The meaning is probably not changed. Hasidim, I don't know. I wish the Hamadel was alive. I'd be like, if I hear Hasidim, they literally pronounce the word completely Paisach. They pronounce O-U-E, right? O-U is E. Hasidim. Yeah, beat it. No, beat it. They pronounce U is the E. I don't know. Uman. I mean, Uman is a tradesman. You're changing the word, right? So I don't know if he would take as far as the Hasidim. I don't know. We can ask Chacham David maybe one day. But regardless, it's kosher for Zachor and Parah. Hear it the right way. Pray with Faradim. Always pray with Faradim. You're going to be kosher.
But I like what he said. You got to pray now.
You got to pray.
Don't go away your mother.
No, Reb Cook says stay with your tradition. Yalla.
Like,
Azak We're going to go straight into the next.